Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Jack wants to say hi as well. He doesn't, but I wanted to show him off because he's adorable. I wanted to pop on today and talk a little bit about boundaries. So I've touched on this here and there, but I want to talk about it more often, which is why I want to start off with a live today, because I think boundaries are really easily confusing for people. They're often triggers too, but I think that comes from people not understanding what a boundary is, who needs it. Spoiler alert, everybody needs it. Murphy wants to say hi as well. And kind of, what they are, what's the purpose of them, who needs them, and what they look like. So for anyone who subscribes to my email, you guys already know I kind of hit a snag with some of my boundaries last week, and this is kind of what brought this up for me. Basically, what a boundary is you defining and supporting your own space. So the best way that I can describe this is for anyone, and I hope it's everybody because the movie's amazing, but for anyone who's ever seen the movie Dirty Dancing, at the beginning of it, when Patrick Swayze is first teaching Jennifer Grey how to dance, he tells her, this is my space, and he draws the square, this is your space. You don't come into my space, I don't come into your space. And at the basics of it, that's what a boundary is. It's you defining what you're willing to stand up for and what you're not. So for instance, a boundary for me, and this is what I struggled with a little bit last week, is I'm doing some hotel consulting work, was my former life before coaching, and my boundary was 8 hours a week max. And there were some details around that of like days and times and things like that. I spent 22 hours last week on this consulting job and gig, apparently says GOG. And it just really threw me out of whack. So my boundary there was I will work 8 hours a week on job XYZ. What goes into that is every day tracking my hours, making sure that I'm set up for success and creating that, communicating that boundary to the other people involved in that project, etc. So I had done everything, I had done the communication, I had shared with everyone what my availability was, etc. I had tracked all my time. And I cannot tell you what the hell I did for 22 hours. I'm sure if I went back, I can detail out exactly what I did because that's how I tracked my time. But I didn't uphold that boundary for myself. And it really kind of backfired and kicked me in the ass because I then let that kind of overcome my priorities for my own work, my own business growth, things like that, time with my family, etc. And that really is such a reminder to me that I need to uphold those boundaries even stronger, especially as, I'm a big outdoor person. The weather is finally starting to turn around in Rhode Island. So I need to be even better about holding my boundaries moving forward because it is becoming spring. One of the biggest reasons I got into coaching, other than, it's my purpose, I want to help women, was for the time freedom to no longer have to feel like I don't get summer vacation or I don't have time for myself or my family. So upholding that boundary is even more important. So that's one example. Boundaries are important for every single person, whether you're doing personal work actively or not, whether you're trying to grow your own business, grow your family, whatever it is, every single person has boundaries or should have boundaries. If you don't, this is really key for you too. A boundary can be something as simple as I will not talk about topic A with person B because we have a difference of opinion. So sometimes, a lot of society says we don't talk about religion, we don't talk about politics, we don't talk about guns. That's a boundary. It seems really silly, but that's what a boundary is. It's you deciding that you're going to do something or you're not going to do something and then following through with that. So that's kind of a societal expectation that we don't talk about some of those trigger topics, we'll say. A boundary can also look like I am going to dedicate one night a week to to just myself. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to journal, do some gratitude, pull cards, things like that. Boundaries can also look like I am going to work out 5 days a week. I'm holding that space for myself. I'm holding that intention for myself, and I'm not letting anything else come through and stop me from doing that. Now, a boundary is not, I am going to work out at 5 a.m. every single day, and if I don't do it, I failed. That's not a boundary. A boundary is not something that is going to make you feel worse about yourself. A boundary is something that's going to help you achieve your highest good or achieve a really important goal for yourself. So again, boundaries can look like a whole lot of different things. They can involve other people. They don't have to. They're in every aspect of your life, whether it's work, career, business, because those three I think are different categories: personal work, time for yourself, time freedom, things like that. And boundaries are really important. As I started this video off, I kind of really screwed myself up last week and was in a really foul mood because of it. Wasn't a great person to be around, was not very present on social media because I wasn't in the space that I wanted to really be sharing with a lot of other people, because I just wasn't in a good space, a good vibe. And it comes down to I didn't uphold my own boundaries. So I highly encourage you all to look at your boundaries right now. I'm sorry, I got distracted because my dog is chewing a stick. Sorry. Are you following through with the boundaries that you have set for yourself? Do those boundaries make sense anymore? Do you need to change them up a little bit? Boundaries are not something that are hard and set and never changeable. That's not the point of life. The point of life is to adapt, change, be flexible, do what you got to do to be happy. And the boundaries are just one more tool in your tool set to help you get there. So I'm here if you guys want to talk about your boundaries or talk about your lack of boundaries and how you can put some in place to help you. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy your Sunday. I'm going to end this with an awesome look at my dogs because they are just being ridiculously adorable today. I hope that you follow through with your boundaries, set some this week, test them out. Like I said, boundaries are not a set it and forget it. Boundaries are always changing. So if you want to set something new up, go for it. Try it out for a couple days. See if it works. See if it's something that actually helps you achieve your goal, or if it's just something that it's there and it doesn't really do anything for you. You really want your boundaries to work for you, because that's the point. It's helping you achieve your goal in one way or another. And I will say this, your goal can be to be sane. Your goal with the boundary can be to maintain your sanity. A lot of my boundaries are to maintain my sanity. There are a lot of friends or colleagues that I don't discuss my business with because we have very different points of view, and I end up just being really frustrated, and it makes our relationship worse. And so that's not necessarily a business growth or an inner work. That's a boundary that is purely for my own sanity. And there are ripple effects with that, obviously, but a boundary doesn't have to be for something huge. It doesn't have to be for something super long term. They can be short term. They can be immediate goals. A boundary can be, hey, I really got to clean my breezeway today. I'm going to set aside 2 hours of time. I'm going to put my phone in a different room and put it on vibrate so I don't hear it ringing and I don't see any of the notifications. I'm going to ask my husband, to take the dogs out so I can vacuum without my one dog trying to attack the vacuum cleaner. That's a boundary. That's me setting that intention and that space for myself and my breezeway because it's disgustingly dirty. But you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be this huge, big, serious thing. It's just anything to help you achieve your goals and be the best version of yourself. So I said I was going to end that with a picture of my dog. I got excited and had to keep talking a little bit more. But I'm here if you want to talk about boundaries, if you want to just, shoot the shit about it a little bit, like better understand them a little bit. I am working on a 1 to 2 page PDF download on my website that's hopefully going to come out in the next couple of weeks about boundaries and what they look like, different ways to enforce them, support them, things like that.
go enjoy your Sunday. I hope that it's beautiful weather wherever you guys are at, and I will talk to you soon.